Okay, making sure. Okay. Stuff showing up. Okay, making. Okay, yeah, we are live. Just making sure since the last stream went down and it wasn't the best. Well, it wasn't. I'm not saying it wasn't the best as in it was bad. I was just saying, I accidentally, forgot to stream, last stream for most of it. But we're here now. We got our project. I changed back to Windows 10 because Windows 11 was really upsetting me, making some things just not work at all. But we're here now. We're back on the good old Windows 10. Helps if I start the stream music, which I so promised. But we got a few things. There's a few things I actually want to work on with this stream. Uh, First of all, where we left off, we have the spin dash, which fully works. We got the peel out, which works. And you're able to push against walls and balance off ledges. So, I have a few things that I want to change about balancing. We're gonna add a few variables to this, our ground collision, but we will add more at a later date. It's just when we get to it. So we got can balance. Set that to a boolean. And can push. And we'll use this can push for if we do end up adding Knuckles and other characters like Tails, we will use the can push for if you can climb against it or not as well. Just so we get our bases covered. We are going to yoink Sonic. Well, yoink the player collision. No, we don't want to remove the object. We will delete these. Put our player back in. And now we can focus on rebuilding the level. Set this to 0. Oh yeah, set this to 1. Set this to 0. And we're gonna lock this for now, so we don't accidentally grab it while we're building the level. Oh, a temporary level again. So we're gonna make a simple block. We're gonna trigger these so they're active and they're in order that I set them up in. You don't have to do this. I just always start the instance variables up before I start actually working, like using the things that I use the instance variables for. So, as always, we're gonna line up everything so it is at least 4 chunks thick. Our grid is 32 by 32, which when it displays these 32 by 32 tiles are like displayed as 8 by 8. We want each tiles to at least be 4 tiles. We want each collision object to be at least 4 tiles thick, and we want it to interlap as well, just so there is not like interruptions here. We are going to set can push here to true. Move this down a bit. Add another one. Make that 4. Do the process. Overlap it. We want it can balance and can push there to be true. Extend this outwards. And now we're gonna get like some general slopes. We got our ground collisions here. Just a faint little slope here. Flip this. Bring it up a tiny bit. Deepen it. And then flatten it out again. Okay. For this, we want to have at least 4x4 behind each one of these. But, well, mainly just 4 horizontally. Because we don't want something to, like, clip through, which... If we were to actually be doing this for real, we will be, filling this up completely to the best we can. Just so there is not any accidental, like, clippage. Slope works fine. That's not fine. Oh. Huh. Interesting. That is not something on my end, that is something on the extension end. So we are going to have to configure it. Just browsing through. I'm gonna set that to 12, see what that does. Substeps. I don't fully know what this does, so I'm gonna set it to 6. Standing max angle, slipping. So we still got climbing. Okay. Or... Or... 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. A bit of overlapping collision. But we don't have that issue anymore. We could push on this wall, no problem. We could balance on this ledge, no problem. We could go up this slope, hold down it, which I think I need to change a variable once I get there. But you see, we still gotta configure the property of balancing. So we can do that now. So we're gonna open up the player related. Hide ones we don't need. But the angle is 0. We're gonna move this in and say if player on a given platform, ground collisions, and ground collisions variable can balance through. And then this can carry out. So, testing it. We could balance on this ledge because we told the game we can balance there. But if we go over to this ledge over here... Oh, interesting. Okay. Try this. So, player collision is a collision with ground collision. It's still balance. We don't want that. Wait, did I set that to be a balance? I did. Oh. That is a whoopsies on my end. Oh, because did I copy and paste a wall? I think I did. If we set this to false... Actually, no, we saw it work with the slopes. So, if you're in collision... we're gonna add if you're standing on it as well. Player collision. No, that's not the platform. This is the platform. So we can balance on this one, no problem. But we cannot balance on this one, and that's exactly what we want. So we can't balance on stuff that it wouldn't make sense for us to balance on. This song... Oh, Sonic Forces. I don't know why I just thought it was a Sonic Colors song. Oh, I'm gonna get a bunch of heat in the comments for that. But... Okay. Hello to my 2 viewers. I know one of the viewers on there is me, since I have the stream pulled up on my second monitor where I have my streaming stuff up at. If you have any questions or want to, like, ask anything about what I'm doing, feel free to post it in the comments. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Toasty. Anyways, welcome to the stream. This time I actually have the chat pulled up properly, so I can see people actually chatting. Well, that's... I'm glad I'm not alone on that one. It's probably because of the instruments used in, like, this lo-fi version. Hey, Cyber. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm fixing something that, well, not really fixing, I'm changing something that I did last stream. Last stream I added, the spin dash, the super peel out, pushing against walls, and balancing off cliffs, / ledges. Right now, before I'm editing anything else, I'm changing up how the, balancing and pushing works, which I don't think I have to change up the pushing, but I changed up the balancing. So the ground has to have the can balance trigger. And I'm going to be changing the pushing as well to be where it has to have the... what's it called? The can push. We're going to have this. Just pushing. And then we're gonna have and pushed through. Song sounds familiar as well. Oh, Oil Ocean. How if I let this song actually play out fully? So we can't push on that. Can't push on that. This wall is push to true. This is push to true. Okay. Okay. So now we can push on this. We could push on this. And we're gonna set this to false for a brief moment. I'm gonna try pushing on it again. We can't push on this. But we can push on this one even though we're standing on something we cannot push. Okay. So we properly, well, I wouldn't say properly, we fixed this in my own way. But, okay, we got our push, and we got our balance all done. So that is all fixing for. This looks way more complicated than a silly little Roblox game I spent half the summer on. It depends. With the soundtrack, it all depends. I think it's mainly, how do I put this? Not the soundtrack, I'm mixing up comments. For Cyber, this seeming more complicated. When you don't know something, it will seem way more complicated than, like, what it actually is. But, like, once you start learning, it becomes way, easier to know. But there's still stuff here that I see as complicated for myself. And for Toasty99, Sonic 2 has my least favorite classic Sonic soundtrack, despite being one of my favorite Genesis Sonic games. I'm kinda, like, in between, the Sonic 2 soundtrack. Because you got, like, some songs that are, like, absolute bangers. But then you got some that, like, in my mind, aren't the best. Like, I hate to get sidetracked off on the stream. But if we go, actually, duplicate the tab. And we pull up, like, Death Egg Sonic 2. Like, I do not like this song. It's a bad song. Like, it gets what it's done right, I guess. And plus, you barely hear the song to begin with. But, one thing I want to bring up, this was originally planned to be, like, a full-on zone. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work for me. It feels so, like, slow and, like, unfitting. And I don't know how to explain it. Let's do Metropolis then. Yeah, I kind of see what you mean. But, like, this, in my mind, is not really a bad song. I don't say it really fits to be one of the final zones. But, like, it fits for the zone itself. But Aquatic Ruin is good. Yeah, this is an amazing song. And the person who'd composed the BRB music, which, it's been a while ago. They did a remix of this song for the fan game that they're a part of, and that I'm a part of as well. Hilltop is underrated. Hilltop. I see what you mean. Personally, in my mind, it fits. It's just not something I'd go out of my way to listen to. The Sonic Forces soundtrack, on the other hand, most songs I don't mind. It's just some of the instruments can be off, but like if you were to do like the instruments properly, it would sound way better. Okay. So, we fixed how balancing works, and we configured pushing. So if we go over here, we can't balance on it, and that's exactly what we want. So this stream, I was planning on the final fight theme in 3D Blast for the Genesis. Okay, let me just read that properly. From Toasty99. Also, the final fight theme in Sonic 3D Blast is the best Genesis theme ever. That is a good song. I want to search my channels. Open link in new tab. Oh, that just goes to YouTube. I don't even know what's on my YouTube anymore. Because this account is tied in to a... This was originally from my old channel before I, like, changed it to... what I am now. Because I used to set it, change my channel name to whatever my thing was. And I was foolish and watched stuff on my old account. Like, directly on my main channel, which that's something I don't want to do. And also, I'm getting Atlas here since my friend sent me a video while I was signed in. Okay, reading from Cyber. I'm so glad that the Sega sound team is better about dropping the tracks on YouTube and Spotify than Nintendo left half of their soundtracks. I remember there being, like, I think only, like, one Kirby game that Nintendo officially uploaded to YouTube. But I think that's about it. We go to Final Fight, Sonic 3D Blast, Genesis. Yeah, this theme is a good theme. Personally, in my mind, I don't know how to explain this, but since it's been forever since I played 3D Blast, if this plays only for the final boss, which I'm not sure if it does or not, this... I don't know how to explain it. It fits the game, but it doesn't, like, fit for, like, a grand final boss, like Doomsday Zone, or, like, the final boss for, like, Sonic 2 does. I'll just leave this tab up while we continue working. Oh yeah, I changed up the BRB screen from whoever watched last stream, which I don't think I got a chance to use it, since I don't remember if the BRB screen was a part of the part I forgot to press stream for, or the part that I was actually able to stream for. But I changed it to this. It works well. But now, what I'm wanting to add this stream to this, I want to add a working HUD, which I've already done in, like, past projects, so it won't be that hard for me. And I got a really cool tool to show you guys. Well, guys and gals, whoever is wanting to watch now. Gotta, being inclusive. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hello. But I want to add the HUD. And I want to add, being damaged. I'm not gonna fully add death. Like, I can start adding death, but I'm not gonna fully add it. But first, what we need for the HUD, we need the sprites. So, time to head to my good old friend, the Spriter's Resource. We all love the Spriter's Resource. If you don't, what's wrong with you? Ooh. It's cool looking. Oh, that's cool. That is really cool. Ah. This is, like, reminds me of, like, how Roboblast 2 does it. Oh, this is so well done. I might use this for, what's it called? Like, something later down the line, or use this as a reference. This is really well done. Comments. Whatever. But what we want to do, we don't want to be in customs. Respond to Cyber. Is that a site? Is that just a site for sprites from any game? Yes, it is. Well, mostly any game. This is all community managed. And as you see here, these are custom sprites, and they have a huge custom spriting scene. This is an amazing site, so if you're ever working on a project, instead of going on Google and like searching whatever, always head to the site first to see if they have it. But do keep in mind some of the rips here are old and like not up to standard. Responding to Toasty99, models resource is better, not gonna lie. It would be better if people would actually upload their rigs. Like if we go to the models resource, what did I put here? Oh, it's just that. That's cool. If we head to, like, let's just search up Mario. I know, searching up Mario in a Sonic stream is criminal. For, like, custom models, you don't have to, like, in my mind, don't do rigging. It's your choice if you want to have rigging or not. And if it's, like, low poly, like Baby Mario over here, it's easy to add rigging. This is not even a custom model. But most of the time, responding to Cyber, who changed their profile picture mid-stream. Wait, I could use this for my needy streamer sprites, possibly. I don't exactly know what you mean by that. My brain is not fully awake, even though I woke up at a reasonable time. Yeah, but back to what I was saying before Cyber responds. Like with almost every single 3D model, they have rigging. That's how they're able to move and stuff. So when you upload a model without rigging, there's one of two options. You're too lazy to dig deeper and grab the rigging, or you're too lazy to add the rigging in general, or the tools are not available to grab the rigging. And that's why you gotta give some of these models leniency. Since, like, I don't know when these were ripped. I don't know, like, what tools were available at that point in time. But, like, low poly, this is fine. It's not that hard to, like, rig a low poly thing. But, like, we got another, like, really big example of this, which is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games for the DS. Let's not upset the YouTube gods of putting Mario in a Sonic thing, and let's grab Sonic's model. So in this game, in a lot of like lower poly games, they use multiple hand models instead of like individually modeling out the limbs. Well, instead of individually modeling out the fingers and stuff. So they would make their own hand meshes, and this is a good way to keep down on the poly count. Here's the thing. The person who uploaded this model Yep, this is, this has to be hydrosity. Oh, I'm so dead. I called Angel Island's own hydrosity. But the instruments fit it so well. But this person, even though they uploaded it as a day model, I'm pretty sure this doesn't have rigging at all. And all of these hand meshes, they are merged to the model. So instead of being split up, they're all merged. And if you wanted to like have like the hand models separate, you have to painstakingly remove every single vertex and like separate these by hand, which that is really annoying to do. Now it's time to actually do what we're going to do. We're gonna head to the Sega Genesis, which the first 3 Sonic games are some of the most documented on this site. Still don't got sound name for the sound effects though, but that's just how they were in game. So we're gonna head here, and we're gonna start with the HUD. So we're gonna get the HUD overlay. We're gonna copy the image, and we're gonna open up a sprite. Responding to Cyber. The game Needy Streamer Overload has very cute sprites, and I wanted to find somewhere that kept them all so I can start editing and posting stuff on my other account again. That sounds familiar. Needy stream. Yeah, we got a decent amount on here. When it comes to PC games, it is usually easier to rip sprites. Because it's just like for the PC. With like older games or games for other consoles, it's slightly harder because, you know, it's made for a different platform. Why is Doom Guy a cat girl? I love that. That's not even... I don't even think... I think that's Master Chief. Yeah, that's Master Chief. And then you got Doom down here. That's funny. But... back to here. We're gonna yoink those sprites. And open up here. What we're gonna do... grab these sprites. I'm gonna do one by one, put them into... I actually gotta do... Spawning the Cyber. Needy Streamer has a lot of refs in it. It's to be expected. Like, streamer... like, streaming, like, has been in, like, game culture for a long time. But... what's it called? Back to what I was doing. I forgot. When I'm setting up an animation, I'm used to Photoshop, to where I always copy and paste all the frames, and they go as their own layers, and then I'd convert the layers to frames. Sprite does not do that. And that is perfectly fine. There's no issue with that. It's just slightly different from what I'm used to doing. So it's just copy and pasting. This is a Sonic CD song. Yep, title temp is from Sonic CD. I don't know what the KC stands for. I don't know if this is either the Japanese or the US soundtrack though. We're just gonna continue, get our silly little numbers done. Oh, we do not want to rotate it. We do not want to have fast rotation. Rot sprite is always, like, should be your go-to method when you're rotating pixel art. And even then, even with rot sprite, you still gotta touch it up manually. Okay. You know what? I could be smarter with this. I could go into my files, go to my GDevelop stuff, and I go to what I think is archives, and see if I have the font here. Okay. So I do have the font characters. So I'm gonna be really smart about this. Instead of redoing it, which creating a font is really time consuming, I'm gonna grab these. But I am going to continue doing these numbers and just the numbers, because I really want to show you guys how to use my font. Oh, well, not my font tool, just the font tool I use. Okay. So we're just gonna do font underscored whatever, and make sure we're doing it as PNG frames. Agree. We're gonna go here and go to Snowbee font. Well, Snowbee bitmap font. So we got this over here. which keeps track of all of the characters you can use, well, that is in your font. But right now, since we only got the numbers, we only want the numbers. Font size, I'm gonna set it to 8. I don't think this takes effect when we do images. We can go select images and put the images in here. And now we gotta, using this image glyph list, we can go and just type down what character we want a font to use. Well, one of our images to use. We don't need padding or anything special. Yeah, everything here. I'm gonna zoom this in and just type down our numbers. Now we got our numbers, and we got space and do it more. Here, you don't really have to change it, but what's it called? A lot of, like, let's take Mario Bros. 1 for example, or like a bunch of NES games. They didn't have like custom spacing for like fonts and stuff. So if the font was like 8x8 for example, or had a width of 8, the space would always be 8. Here, it's not like that. But right now, I'm not gonna name it, but for GDevelop, you want to use it in XML and do BM font XML. I don't know what, the font file's probably the same since it's still saying XML. But when we want to have it be numbers, text, whatever. We won't have it XML, so GDevelop can use it, and we can edit it easily. So we're gonna go here. First, delete these numbers. We don't need them anymore. And we're gonna extract to unnamed. So we got our font here. I'm realizing I do not have Notepad++. It is highly recommended if you're gonna do anything with XML or anything like that, use Notepad++. Do not use the default Notepad because it is horrendous. I'm gonna download the latest version. Are you still downloading? Oh, you're finished? I guess you didn't want an icon. That's fine. Oh, the icon loads the second I press it. English, next, agree, put it in... Wait a second. I'm gonna see if I have Notepad++ here. I do not. But, yeah, Notepad++ is really good. But when it comes to me organizing, I really hate going through, like, the default, like, file hierarchy that Windows does. So when I have, like, my separate drive, which is where I keep most of my files, like, when it comes to, like, stuff like Photoshop, like, stuff like that, I had issues with it having it on my D drive, so I put it on my C drive instead. But, like, most of the things here are, like, default stuff, or stuff that, like, makes sense to be on the C drive. But the rest of this is just taken up by my silly little, D drive. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna yoink this, and we're gonna browse. We're gonna go to this PC, silly little drive. We're gonna go to Programs, make a new folder here, paste. And now we're gonna confirm that. We're gonna go next, and just continue the installation. Personally, right, I've been honestly hiding my desktop icons since I've been having a lot of fun just using the start menu. We don't need to run that, but we will be using very shortly. I still need to go through and configure the defaults, because even though you would set like Firefox, for example, as your default browser, what's it called? Microsoft Edge will grab everything it can that's not specifically browser related, like an XML file or an HTML file, and still keep that as its default. So you gotta go in, like, all your file types, and, like, manually change anything that's Microsoft Edge to Firefox, or whatever your default browser choice is. But, we're gonna open with, choose another app, and we're gonna go to, choose another app on this PC. It's not showing up by default because we put it on our D drive, I think. And we're gonna always use Notepad++ to open our XML files. That's something I really recommend you to do. Okay, responding to Cyber. While I'm thinking of it, do you have any program recommendations where I can edit the file and speed it up? Found a way around the Roblox audio system using speeds and stuff. Can you further elaborate that? It's updating. Okay. And next. So they just don't have the newest version on their site. That's fine. While we wait for Cyber to further elaborate what they meant, view icons. I like to see what I'm looking at. We're gonna go into our XML file, and the way Snowbee generates it generates it all in one line. It still works perfectly fine. But what I really like to do, and what I've done with my fonts, is I go to an XML beautifier. I just use a random site because it works fine. I don't need this long name. We're just gonna make it beautifier. And we put this here, and then it makes it all nice over here. And this, I just copy, and then put it in here and save. But one thing you have to do, you have all your indicators, what your characters are, under the actual code for it. You get our width, heights of the characters, and our X advance. X advance, it tells whatever's using this font how far you have to go in pixels before you do your space. Well, before you make your new character, whether that be a space or another one. All of these, they're 8 pixels wide, so their X advance would always be 8. But since our space is 3, that allows our space to be shorter. But if you're working with a font like this, what I always do is I put it to 8, so it stays within the tile grid. And that's just something I do. But if we go to our one font, we're just gonna back out a lot. There we go. We go here. So we go to HUD large white. This is just the image file, but as white. But HUD large, I have as a just without the white part. So we can go here. You see it's all beautified, stuff like that. But also, for every font I work on, I really love getting into the habit of our first note being all the available characters in the font, not including space, because space, of course, is going to be included. And then, since I didn't mainly create the, like, I didn't, like, handmade this font. It's a Sega font, and it's to be expected since it's being used in a Sonic recreation. I put who ripped it. And then I put my credits for assembling the font, just in case anyone wants to use it. They can easily remove this. The original file has the credits, and that's what matters. Anyways, we're actually gonna grab this entire fonts folder, steal that, and go here, go to graphics, and we're gonna paste. Oh yeah. I don't know why the Johnson file is for Blockbench. Probably Blockbench, like, set it for default, stuff like that. But as long as we don't open it from, like, open this file and open it via GDevelop, we're fine. I've been working, after my last stream, I worked on a game thumbnail. This is, like, highly placeholder. I might make one a bit better looking later. But also, always keep your, like, source files there too, so in case you want to make any changes, you don't have to just, you know, have to fully recreate or fully destroy the image. So now that we got our fonts in, and I also showed you how to use Snowy, which is a really good tool. We're gonna go here, make a new layer called HUD. And then I'm gonna do it to dash, use this character. I don't know what this character is, but it's just a vertical line, and I really love using it to split things up. So we're gonna have normal. So this is our HUD, like, for normal stuff. What we're going to do, we're going to steal a few more things from this file. I'm gonna go back into HUD related. Aha! We're gonna also steal these. These are mine, even though I created these files. But we're also gonna go into graphics and paste these here as well. I know this is not really me fully doing a process, but I've done this before, and what's it called? These are the same assets, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to watch me sit there and, like, ramble as I put file, like, copy and paste stuff in a Photoshop document and export it. So we're just gonna have this here. So now we have our fonts and all our HUD stuff, and that's perfectly fine. And perfectly good. Just how we want it. I'm gonna go here. We need to go to... I'm gonna copy this and put it in Photoshop. So this is the HUD overlay. What we want to do. So it is 8 pixels down. And it is 16 pixels wide. So this space is just our buffer. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna set up our grid. The only thing that has to be, like, this big scale is our gameplay, since GDevelop really hates, like, pixel perfect stuff from what I've seen. But that could have been just, like, what I've been using, like, the extensions I was using. But, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a new sprite, HUD, display. Now we got our HUD display. We could go to assets, graphics, yoink our HUD related stuff, and grab, in order, it goes in score, time, rings. So we're going to copy the same order. Gonna name them for convenience sake. I'm gonna go time it properly. I'm gonna just slow that down slightly so it's not so hard on the eyes. I'm gonna do time, and then we're gonna do rings. The reason why I'm not making the flashing its own animation, while it might be useful on my end, I can easily have it so if your value is not equal to 0, the animation speed will be set to 0. And then it'll always set to frame 0, which is our first frame. But if your rings is 0 or your time's getting close to running out, that's when it flashes, and that's when we change it so the animation speed's set to 1. What we're gonna do... I'll set the life HUD to be its own object so we can, like, easily change that up. Does not... Actually, no, we can set it as this object. It doesn't matter. So, we're gonna go... grab... lives... and do Sonic. Actually, we're gonna do base Sonic. Let's set it like that. Base Sonic animations, and we have that be base Sonic. And that way we can always easily change it out, like on the fly using... That is a Sonic. We can always change it out on the fly, just referring... Like, we can always change this life counter image on the fly, referring to our current player name. So what we're gonna do, we got HUD, we're gonna put HUD here. We're gonna set the Z order to 0, and we're just gonna fill this out. And now our animations are here, so we got our HUD. And our life counter is the same thing, but on the bottom. So we can set this to 4, which is... No, it's 3, my bad. We can set this to 3, since that is our default life counter for Sonic. And this can always be changed in the event. And now we're gonna lock it right now, since we don't need it. See? Now we got our... I killed Sonic. He will now fall into eternity. Let's see, we got our HUD displaying properly. It doesn't have, like, its numbers, stuff like that. But it's working. HUD display. And these, we don't have to have, like, variable values at all. We don't need a new object either. We want a new folder. HUD. And we're just gonna put that in there. You gotta have HUD wherever we want. Now what we want to do is we want to get our bitmap text. And this allows us to use our bitmap text object. And if we go into our fonts, and we go to text large, well, HUD large, we can see our available characters. We got our numbers, our lowercase alphabet, and we got the semicolon, as well as underscore, which defaults to a blank spot. Defaulting it to a blank spot allows, like, spacing just in case, like, numbers don't want to work. This is GDevelop. Like, if you set a number value with a bunch of zeros in front of it, then you set it to, whatever number you want, it'll remove all of those zeros at the beginning. That's why I usually like to have underscores, just so it spaces stuff out better. And just in case spaces won't work. So we are going to do something. We're going to have the alignment set to right. And we're just going to set this to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It should cover all of our bases right now. And plus, the player will not see this text in gameplay. Well, see the 000 in gameplay. They will not see it. We're gonna go to graphics, fonts, view large, so we can see what our image is. Grab our HUD large. We go to fonts. I grab HUD large white. Keep the tint full 100. Text scale to 1. And now we're able to have our text. We're gonna rename it to HUD text. I'm gonna set it. Give this a few variables so we don't have to make multiple text objects for the same thing. First variable is assigned text. And we don't really need to add any more, but if we're gonna have like menu options, we're gonna also have like assigned menu option as well. By default, we will not be using... Ooh, I just got a random break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna make sure we space this all properly. So this is 6 out. So we got their little space here. I locked the HUD flare. Whoopsies. So we have that spaced out properly how we want it. Alignment I don't think really matters. It only does it for if it's a paragraph, and I really don't like it doing that. Now we go to time. It goes 1 in. And then rings, it should go 1 out. Let's see, we got our space here. Just like we got our space, well, our space here for score. But this right here, this like little 16 by 16 block here, I think that's where like the debug text go, which is these tiny letters right here. And that's only when you're in debug mode. But now, we got the text in place. It works fine, quote unquote. Add text. I'm gonna do our assigned text now. So we got score for this one. We got time for this one. And we're gonna just keep it all lowercase, so we don't have to focus on capitals. And then for rings, we're gonna have this rings. I'm gonna save that. We're gonna hop in our global variables. We don't need settings at all. So now we want to go to gameplay, values. I'm gonna set this to structure. I'm gonna do time minutes. Set that to, keep that as a number. Time sec. Score. Yeah, score stays the same. And then rings. And this is all the values we need right now. Find your flame. Ah, I'm surprised you noticed it. Then again, I turned my audio down slightly bit on my headphones, so I didn't really notice it myself. But I'm surprised you noticed that. Good job. I'm gonna be smart, so I don't have to put any extra credits. We're just gonna loop this video. So now we got our values there. We could use scene, but it is easy to have each of your like levels be its own scene. You don't have to worry about like resetting everything, stuff like that. And it works with Sonic 1 since after each level there is no like cutscene going to the next. Acts are connected like Sonic 3. It just, you finish the level, it fades to black, and then boom, you're on the new level. So, what we're going to do now, we're gonna grab a new external event, and we're gonna do this HUD related. Gameplay scene act 1. So then we got our external events, which I'll eventually put these in a group, so it's more organized, just like I have groups here. Which, just for organization's sakes, and consistency's sakes as well, we'll put the jump in a group, even though it is one event. And then our abilities, we have this, like, more broad stuff in, like, a gray. So we can just keep track of it better. It's not all characters can use spin dash, for example. Amy was unable to use, her spin dash in the Advanced Trilogy. And that was her gameplay debut. And of course, only Sonic has a super peel out. You can give it to Metal Sonic, but you know what I mean. So, we're gonna have this for... I'm gonna do a... for each object. Probably not needed, but I like to have this just to be safe. If, HUD text... actually, I'm gonna rename some of this stuff over here. We're gonna do HUD display underscore graphics. And then we're gonna have this be HUD display underscore text. Yes, code organization is key. As you wanna, like, be able to look back on it and see what it all does. Since why code something if you cannot read it and be able to change it? And that's why, like, comments are also useful. I just haven't been adding comments since I've been doing this stream. And I'd basically be repeating myself. So for each HUD display text, and if our text variable value is equal to score, we can now configure it to be score. So now we're gonna have a variable value, gameplay value score is greater than or equal to 0, but less than 9. There's probably an easier way to do what I'm doing now, but this is an easy way to do it, and it gets the job done. And we can always just add zeros as we go on. So, we're going to add text. Well, no, we're not going to add it. We're going to change the text. We're going to set it to have our zeros. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, gameplay, values, score. So now, we can, like, let's say, set our score to 5. Now that displays 5. Oh wait, we don't want that. We don't want zeros. Zeros are for time. We want underscores, which is just our, like, our spacer thing. Because if we do 5 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I'm correct, okay, it didn't this time. But I just like to use underscore since it's like a visual thing that we can see add up. So we can see our spaces here. And then, so now, we're able to properly space our score. On time, and rings we'll do later. So, but now if it is greater than that, and we add a 0 behind here. Actually, no. We don't add a 0, we add a 9. We can remove one of these. And we're just gonna have key pressed, I don't know, space. And then we're just gonna have it so it adds up the score, so we can make sure this works. This is always a good thing to do, like when you're adding something. Add something so you can like actually test, see if the values work. And everything works how you want. We're gonna have it add 10. Actually, no, have it add 5. So now, every frame we hold space, it goes up. Okay. And you see how that works. We add our space. Instead of like going this way, like most text works, it is now going this way. And then it stops the highest it can go. It cannot go higher than 95, since it goes up by 5s and it doesn't track once it's past a certain number. And now we do the same thing. Add a 0 to this 10. Add a 9 to this 99. Ooh, a His World remix. And then we're just going to continue adding numbers as we go on. Not a negative, we need a 9. So now that we got 2 spaces left. Well, not 2 spaces, but you get what I mean. There we go. And we're just going to set this to add 100 so it goes up faster. Actually, 125. Does this song actually... Yep, it gives the credits. That's good. Ice Cap Zone with a lo-fi remix. That's cool. But, we hold space, our score counter goes up properly. And you get the point. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Sonic music as well. But, we can sit here, hold space, and then it goes up and it works properly. But once it gets past, it's a bunch of 9s, it will no longer trigger. So what we're gonna do, if it is greater than this, instead of changing that, we're gonna set this to our max score. I'm not gonna test it, but you get the idea. Now that let's score, we got that. Now we're gonna do rings since it's simply just a copy and paste. But instead of all these spaces, greater than 1,000. I'm gonna change this to rings. Rings. And I'll just copy and paste these since we gotta change the spacing already. So 1, 2. 1 here. And then none here. Oh, welcome, Cyber. I'm not sure if you were here when I asked, or were paying attention, but I responded to your comment, and I asked you to further elaborate. I responded to the comment, while I'm thinking of it, do you have any program recommendations where I can edit the file and speed it up? I found a way around the Roblox audio system using speeds and stuff. And I was asking if you're able to further elaborate what you meant by that. Okay. The rings should be fine. I'm gonna set this to F5 and change it to rings since we know score works. No, rings go up properly. And then once it reaches 995, it stops since it is no longer able to track. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm supposed to set this to a less than or equal to. That is a whoopsies on my end. If I were doing, like having 100 be in this place of this 99, then I'd have it be the less than. But since I'm not doing that, what's it called? I'm doing 99, so it splits it up, so it doesn't look like the same thing. Okay, I forgot to do the less than or equal to down here as well. Okay. Now that we tested, full screen it for your viewing pleasure. Okay, it eventually goes to max. But if you're going up by one at a time, like you should. Yeah, when I let go of the spacebar, then it goes to 99. The rings and score works. Time, is an interesting thing to format. We got a solid score of 5. You know, this is like the highest score ever seen in this game. But we don't want to be cheaters, so we're going to set that back to 0. So now, we got our rings and score. And then with time, the end of the timer would line up with this 0 down here. So you'd have like a 3-character space between score and then the rest of the values, which honestly kind of looks nice, to be honest. Now we're gonna set time. Huh. What do you mean your message won't sense? Cyber. I'm not sure. Oh. Checking, see if I can. All messages are visible. Okay, I'm gonna set it to direct live chat. And that didn't help. If you wanted to, if you want to, you can send that to me on Discord. If that helps with you, and I can answer your question there. Of course, I'll be checking Discord via my phone. Instead of just doxing our messages on stream. Responding to a few messages right now. Okay. Responded to the messages I needed to. One of my friends asked, what was 3 o'clock for me and where was our streaming? But they sent that to me at 3:15 my time, so I didn't know. So I sent them a message. They're currently offline, so I'm not sure if they've seen it. But if you do see this stream, I'm terribly sorry for not reaching you earlier. Because, I don't like to have Discord up while I'm streaming. Like, if I'm having no views, yeah, I'll have Discord up and, like, occasionally check. I did that, like, last stream. I occasionally check Discord, like, every 30 minutes or so. But yeah. Now, while we wait for, Cyber to send their message... Okay, they did. So, I'll read this for you. Cyber says, basically, if you speed up an audio file, and you upload it to Roblox, you won't get copyright flagged. Once the file is put into the game, you can slow it to normal within Roblox Studio settings. I basically need something where I can change the audio speed. Sorry if I butchered English, even though I'm a native speaker, and that's the only language I know. What we're gonna do... This program right here, it's free. This is, like, a general good program used for... like, just basic sounds. You can't make music in it, but this is just, like, editing audio files. One thing I want to say, when you're installing it, install it without MuseHub. It's just another, like, like, app hub, like Steam or Epic Games, for just a single program, which it didn't used to have. And I don't know when they added it, because I don't really I don't really mess with audio that much. But if you want a program to edit a file in that is native to your computer that you can use offline, use Audacity. But I remember there's some, like, ones online that are good. I think Audiomass is a good one. Yes, Audiomass is a good one to use, I think. I'm pretty sure you can speed it up. Yeah, you can use... If you want something, like, just completely online, use Audiomass. Twisted Wave, which was the second option there, you can only have a mono channel, but this one allows you to use both. Clarification, mono, it plays the exact same audio through both speakers, if you're using, like, headphones, for example. Excuse me. But, I forgot what the term was, but non-mono... I don't know why, I just can't think of the term right now. Non-mono audio, you can, like, have different audio in left and right speakers. I remember, like, a long time ago, like, when I was, like, 12 or something, there'd be these, like, uploads on SoundCloud, and there was probably, like, on YouTube as well, where I'd have one song in one ear, and another song in the other ear, and it was a really goofy concept. But yeah. So I hope this answers your question. So if you want a native thing to your computer that you can download, use Audacity without MuseHub. If you want something completely online, if you don't want, like, any additional space taken up, use this Audiomass website. Okay. Cyber says thank you. And that is it for me checking Discord at the moment. We got that one Sonic Forces song that I'm mistaken for a Sonic Colors one towards the start of this stream. Responding to Cyber. At some point I'm gonna buy a disk drive for my laptop so I can make some custom CDs. That sounds really fun. When I first saw that, like, just by a disk drive, I meant like when he said that, I thought like you meant like, not like a reader slash writer. I thought you meant like an actual disk drive. Like one of these. Yes, this right here. This, these are old, drivers. They're no longer being used, like, they're no longer the main form. You got SSDs, stuff like that. And SSDs are flash. So, if I'm correct, you don't lose flash. But with this, the disk can get damaged, it can move around, you can have errors while using a hard disk drive. And they are no longer recommended. But a lot of servers still use disk drives. Yeah, see for example. This is a comparison. You have all these moving mechanical parts for your HDD. But for your solid state drive, it's all just on a chip, no moving parts. Yeah, my old laptop also has one. And using an HDD, it is a really good way to accidentally lose files. Like, it's still stored properly, it's just different formats. But what's it called? This disk can be damaged and completely... Oh, bye-bye files. So that's why having an SSD is always good. And also remember to always back up your files, just to stay safe. I'm just looking inside of my PC right now. I do have the SSD. And always, if you're ever wanting to like get into computer stuffs, gaming laptops are not recommended. Plus, they're a pain to repair. If you want to get like a computer just for gaming, get like a complete desktop. They're, in my mind, they're way more user-friendly. Runs the same programs, yes, but you're able to like swap stuff out, change it. Like, I upgraded my graphics card from a 1080 GTX to a 3060 RTX. Still need to upgrade my CPU. But I can still do that, like, no problem. And you just, like, follow a tutorial, cross-reference tutorial, see if it's done right. And if you know someone that is technical, ask them first. But you can easily swap stuff out, easily repair things when it comes to a desktop. But when it comes to most laptops, they've become so, like, really anti-repair. So, I do have, like, a newer laptop. I forgot what year it was released in. But it's like a cheap laptop. It's only, like, 300 something bucks. It works well. But I mainly want to use that for, like, schooling or, like, work. Since that is, like, those are, like, environments that you want to have a laptop to take around with you. But when it comes to your, like, work laptop, you don't want to have many, well, at least in my head, because I know I'll get distracted. You don't want to have many games on your laptop, because you can easily get distracted by them. And that's only if you're using it for specifically work and school. Because, you know, you and me, Cyber, you know how we were, we'd always get distracted on, like, random game websites and stuff when we did school. Anyways, that's enough yapping from me about drives and audio things. Time to get back to actually coding a HUD. So, what we want to do, we cannot really use the same thing for rings. Like, use the same thing for score and rings for time. Responding to Cyber. I have a flash drive. I put copies of files on every time I'm done using my laptop. But I want the Miku PC I sent you like a week ago. Yeah, so I say like doing the Miku PC would be a really good thing. But make sure you like have a place to like put it and like this is what I do. Oh. I have my main PC in my room. But when it comes to like when you're actually working and you have your own place, it is best to keep like your like work stuff out of your room. I remember hearing this somewhere. I don't know why it stuck with me, but it's best to like keep your like working stuff outside of you like well, out of view of your bed. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but that I only remembered that it's best to keep them apart. Anyways, back to coding time. Like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with, like, answering messages and chat, stuff like that. But, and this stream will go on until I, like, get the things I said I was gonna do, which is getting this HUD working. Which I still gotta do, the timer and the lives. I also gotta do, getting hurt, which will need some assets for that. I'm gonna do that while I'm here. We'll just have the spikes for now. And then we can add everything else later. But with time, let me save and check what I did on my old one. So we go to my archives. I have an underscore in front of these, so these always appear on top. So we go to DSE Green Hill Zone. Open this up. I remember getting Test Place Act 1. My HUD was up. Player event. It was not in player events. I'm trying to remember where I put it. It's not in startup. It would not be in background, so this is just for like background stuff. I'm gonna test this real quick. See if the HUD was actually working. This did not have a working HUD. Noted. Yeah, I don't even have, like, the HUD stuff here. But I do remember in one of my previous projects, I did have... was it Simple Genesis Sonic? Yeah, Simple Genesis Sonic was the one I've always been referencing. Since this one is actually working. And we do have a working HUD here. I do not have the HUD in... I don't know why I didn't put it there. But... where is the time? Huh. The time adds that. I do not remember, but you're going to have like a timer that adds up. I just don't know where I placed it. But that's fine. Oh, because I didn't implement it yet. But you see, our time work, stuff like that. We have sound effects. Not much. Yeah, but eventually, I think, like, I don't know, within, like, the next 2 streams, we can have something that looks just about this. But when it comes to gameplay, we've already passed, like, this point that I have here. But, visual-wise, we're still using, like, the active, like, collision tiles. Which you see them here. but they just hide by default. And we don't even have pushing or balancing yet. Yeah, we don't even have that yet. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna screenshot it and put it here for reference. Just so I don't have to be referencing back and forth between two entirely different projects. Back to the stream. There we go. Okay, we gotta repeat every second. Our project saved. We got all our things here. So now we're looking. So we address seconds. So basically, look at what our code does here. We address our seconds. And this is like when I was using like whole numbers. Well, whole numbers as in like our tens, like our even numbers. That makes sense. So I'm gonna pop out rings as well. We can actually use this. So gameplay value seconds. And then less than or equal to 9. I'm gonna copy the change text. I'm gonna set it to gameplay values minutes less :0 plus gameplay the values times seconds. And then if we're greater than or equal to 10, but less than or equal to 59, we will have this removed. So, our timer works, and now our HUD correctly displays, besides, well, the flashing. We could walk around, jump around. We can do our peel out. We can do about anything here. Well, as long as the game allows us to. But that's still flashing, and we can easily fix that later. We're gonna hide that. We're gonna do if it is greater than 59. There we go. Make sure we're doing it properly. We add time to minutes 1. I'm just copying it from here. I don't have to go through the event list. So minutes. Actually, we're gonna do seconds. Because we already have it set to. And then we're gonna have minutes. I'm gonna have it be at 1. And then for the final one, if our time value is greater than 10 minutes, which in the classic Sonic games, they add a time limit of 10 minutes on each level, and then once that, you get a time over. You could probably access the game over. Not sure if it'd be in HUD overlay. It is not in HUD overlay. It's in one of these, that's all I know. Where would the game over stuff be? That's like pretty important text. It's in here, but I just don't know where it is. It wouldn't be in continue, since that's just to continue. Not up here. Whatever we have missing. Yeah, whatever we have missing, we can always recreate. Or we can grab it from an alternate source. Since if we go here to mobile, press S, we go down to Sonic the Hedgehog. This is Christian Whitehead's 2013 remake of Sonic the Hedgehog. We could always grab missing stuff from here. Where would game over be? Okay, game over is in general objects here. But it is... Oh, it was right here all along. I am blind. I am legally blind now. Okay. I don't want to cross-reference the mobile port too much. I want to use everything directly from the Genesis version. But one thing I do want to show you, if we do end up adding Tails and Knuckles, for example, I have certain sprite sheets in mind for when that happens. So we're gonna pass through the Sonic section. For Tails, I want to use the Crush Joy-Cons Tails sprites. Because they're not just like the Sonic 2 sprites, which is what like every Sega-created recreation of Sonic 1 uses. These are fully custom to fit the style a bit more. I might tweak the palette up, and of course, all images, you want to make sure the palette is correct. Because there might be like, even like the Sonic 1 she had it, or like there's some colors that are like one value off. For Knuckles, I'm debating whether on using Delta's Knuckles sheet. I'm debating whether I'm using Delta's Knuckles sheet, which is also a really good looking sheet and fits the style well, or using Silk Surfing's Knuckles. These are both really good. And plus, when it comes to... Maybe for like Halloween, I might like release like an EXE example thing that's open source as well. And I want to like have it be the same visual style of the Sonic 1 refresh I'm doing. Anyways, back to here. That's set to 0. When time minutes is equal to 60, not 60. When it is equal to 10, greater than or equal to 10, set to 9, and then set to 59. And that causes the timer to freeze. Since if you were to go here, actually let's just open up gameplay. It will never display 10. It is capped out at 9 minutes and 59 seconds. We're gonna save, just in case anything happens. But now, we wanna have a repeat. Repeat let's see timer, gameplay 9. We're gonna have this be... Okay, so what we're gonna... How are we gonna do this? Because if we could repeat, shut this off, and then start again, I think the timer is... reset? I'm not fully sure. But right now, since we're not focused, we're not worried about that. And this will freeze if we, like, disable the timescale. Which is how we were gonna pause. Every second, the timer will add up by 1. We're just letting this... Actually, no, we're gonna not sit there for a whole minute. We're gonna put it up to, I'll put it down to 0.1 seconds. Helps if I press the button. There we go. And now you see it going up at a quick pace. And see, it times properly. Now we got a working timer, we got a working score, ring counter. Got a message on my phone. I'm always checking just in case my mother messages me. It's just a respectful thing to do. And I wanna bring this to 0.01 so this goes faster. So we can see it max out at the limit. See? And now once we hit that, the timer will no longer proceed. We're gonna set this back to 1. We're gonna make, not a comment, we want to make a group, keeping this organized. Event group. Or... No, we don't need to have it all big. We're gonna copy what we did here. So score. Time. Okay, it was all capitals. Time. And rings. And then we're just gonna put everything in. This is Starlight Zone that's currently playing. Oh, Spring Yard. Close. Yeah, it was Spring Yard. I just mixed up the name. The score time rings we got here. Now we're gonna add a display. A display. And we're gonna put this to life instead of text. I'm gonna set this to 00. Change this XML to our HUD small. And we're gonna do the same thing with the image file. Which in this case, it just has the numbers. This is layer 0, this is layer 0. And put our life counter. Which I accidentally put on base layer. And we're gonna put our life counter on layer HUD normal. And now, since we got everything in place for the HUD, and we do not need to be changing this, yeah, since we don't need to be changing this, we can lock the layer so we do not accidentally edit it. Got our life counter. I am going to... But yeah, lives did the same thing like how rings are. So we're gonna do this over here. Because there's only one life counter, we don't have to worry about having it like all specially formatted for our purpose. We're just gonna grab... We don't have lives. Okay, now that we got lives, this in. Change the 59 to 99. Change this to underscore plus gameplay values. I set it to lives. For this one, we remove that. Now we got our lives. Event group, and we're going to set this to lives. Since it's 0, Oh, I was referencing the wrong text object. That's why that happened. Okay, so now that's working properly as well. Default for Sonic games. You start out with 3 lives, so I'll just keep that there. So now we got 3 lives. Can run, jump around, accidentally send Sonic to his doom. Whoops. And timer's going up properly. Everything's working properly. So now we got our HUD stuff. We can add. We're gonna actually add rings. We're gonna go back to a sprite since this is a smaller animation. I did not save the objects. I'll go back here to our general object. Well, objects, common. What we want to do, for now, we want to go grab our ring and our spikes. Everything else we can add later. A goalpost. Yeah, it's a key part of Sonic, but we don't need to add that right now since we're not at a state to add that right now. So, I'm gonna open up a sprite. Hit the icon. And then we're gonna open up our general objects. The ring is 16 by 16. So, we're gonna copy. Make a new sprite. Gonna grab this palette. Alt B is to make a new empty layer. And we're just gonna shrink this down. There we go. Then new palette from sprite. Okay. Now we're gonna organize it how it shows up here. Also, we're gonna do indexed color mode. This green color will be removed at the very end once we're done. Now it is time. This is not necessary at all. Mango. Mangoes are in fact delicious. Anyways, welcome to the stream. Remap palette, and then we have the ring colors. Done that out by 1, and remap. Okay. So now I can clear that frame, and then. I think the sparkle was... Oh yeah, the sparkle was 4 frames. So we're just gonna put it in all of our frames. The 2013 remakes of Sonic 1, 2, and CD used a more smoothed, smoothed frame count for the rings. They're more akin to, like, the Mania ones. Not really more akin, they just have twice the amount of frames. You remember me. Where do you remember me from? Oh yeah, for anyone watching, sometimes when I'm addressing chat, I don't address name, because I just don't want to mispronounce them, since I know I will. But when it's someone with like a simple name, I will say their name, like I did with Toasty and Cyber. We got a ring animation done. Oh, I remember you now. You're the person that... Let's just search up my name, because I know it will pop up. Yes, you did these. You imported these. Yep, you imported these into Sonic 1 Forever. And, I remember... What's it called? I'm gonna head back to Sonic 1 Customs. You made a few custom sheets of your own as well. And then we have your custom sprites that you started. Let me head back to my sheet real quick. I'm gonna open yours in a new tab. There's mine. Okay. I originally thought the running shoes when I made that comment were based on mine, but it seems like you made it original. So let me just check to delete on that. Indeed. Very many Sonic frames. Okay, Cyber sent me another image. Oh, also, hey Ash, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry, once again, I'm sorry for not, what's it called? Not specifying my, time. That is a nice, table. It's like a chaotic good. I like it. Oh, but since you said, so this is still your, if this is your room, I rate it about like a 7 out of 10. But, if you're, like, in, like, a room that is not your own and have other people showing up, I'd rate it, like, a 4. Mainly because I used to have a setup like that in, like, the dining room, and, I didn't have, like, my own room. And it was... And I didn't really like having my stuff cluttered. Anyways, what we're doing in this stream, Ash, so right now I'm, doing ring sprites, but in this stream, we are, well, I am recreating, Sonic 1 inside of GDevelop, as the stream says. Oh, so it is the dining room, okay, that's exactly what mine was. What's it called? Well, at the table I had to use, it was the dining room table. So I was there when, like, food wasn't, like, when meals weren't being eaten. Okay. Now that we got our ring sprites, we're going to go to Assets, Graphics, and we're going to do Objects, Common, I'm gonna do ring. I'm gonna do normal ring. Yeah, I wish you luck, Olive, saving up on your apartment, Cyber. Just remember, you don't need something that has a bunch of bedrooms if you're just living by yourself. Like, personally, when I do move out from my own apartment, or, like, my own place, I want to get, like, a studio, so I don't need all that room. Because usually, I just reside in my bedroom, and, like, this is... It's enough for me to, like, live in comfortably. It's small, yeah, so I don't have, like, place to display everything that I have, but... It works well. But yeah. It just depends on how much you have. That depends on how your living style is just depending on how big of an apartment you want to get. Okay. I want to think how I want to name them. I'm just gonna have, like, the base part being, like, the base characters being used. When it comes to, like, rings or something, I'll just have it be, like, normal ring, whatever. Don't show the alert again. But we're on the normal layer. We can hide our HUD, well, we can collapse our HUD folder since we don't need it anymore. And we are going to add ring. Just a simple ring. Yeah, saving for a studio would be your best bet for now. So that it's most of the time it should be on the cheaper end than like a 2-bedroom apartment. But remember to scout out, get reviews, like do whatever you can to get more insight on the apartment complex you're going to. So you're not like wasting your money on something that was horrible. Okay. We're gonna go to objects, common, ring. We're gonna grab these first 4 frames. We're gonna loop it. I'm gonna set it to 10 for now. What's it called? Advanced options. Scale factor to 4. We are going to play this animation outside of camera. While it is recommended for performance to have this on, well, it's recommended for performance to not have like the animation play while it's outside of camera. What I like to do is I have it on. It's in the Genesis games. Okay. See you later, Cyber. I hope you enjoyed just chilling in my today's stream. I'm not sure when I'm going to stream again, but have fun. I'll talk to you later too, Cyber. Anyways, back to this. Normally, it is recommended to have this on for like enemies, stuff like that. Both the rings in the Genesis games, they all share the exact same animation. Responding to Ash. I need to learn how to draw on PC. I hate that my hand keeps shaking whenever I draw. You are in the same boat as I. Let me just make a simple canvas here. The smoothing is going to be your... Helps if I have a color that's not white. Smoothing will be your best friend. But even then, like, if I put this off, you see how wobbly my lines are. But most PC drawing programs have a smoothing option. Photoshop, for one, I know that has it. Most, if not all, do, besides, like, Microsoft Paint. But you see how messy, like, my lines are without smoothing. But you do want to keep in mind, when it comes to smoothing, at least in Photoshop, yes, smoothing is... Basically, it slows down your mouse movement. So instead of, like, it being exactly real-time, it falls behind slightly. And depending on how high your smoothing is, depending on how, like, far behind it, like, falls behind. But it just smooths out your lines. It's not perfect. And then you do got to adjust, like, how you do it. Take an account. Since, like, let's say if I do something, like, a quick broad thing, it doesn't do it fully. So let's say I start all the way over here and then go all the way over here. Like, quickly. Once I let go when I finish, the line just stops. It doesn't finish drawing. And then, like, it stops wherever it was as well. So you always gotta be mindful of, like, when it comes to smoothing. Like, keeping an account, like, that it's going to lag behind a bit. Because that's how, at least how Photoshop does it. But I know Abyss Paint, its smoothing feature is a bit different as well. But when you get into, like, drawing on your PC, I always recommend at least having some sort of smoothing, unless you're doing, like, very small pixel art. Smoothing is one of the best tools you can use, like, when using your mouse. But also, you can always try using like vector tools like Illustrator, and there's other drawing programs that have stuff like that. But like, we can use like the pen tool and like make these curves as well. And this is a vector, so no matter how I scale it, it won't appear blurry. But like, let's say like I scale this right here, it stays the same. But if I were to scale my lines that I did with the brush tool, you see how it either gets blurry, or if you have nearest neighbor, it'd still be like super pixelated looking. Anyways, the reason, actually, I might do something. I'm gonna have this to be on. Actually, no, keep it off, since when the ring is being collected, what's it called? It will pause once outside, and instead of deleting the object, instead of deleting the ring object, since when you enter like a checkpoint or a special stage, or you respawn from a checkpoint, all of the rings and all of like the badniks, they respawn. I'm gonna have this set to normal. And then we're gonna set this to selected. And how I'm going to do this, once the collected animation is finished, it will just hide the animation. So just in case anything happens, or like in case we want to use it. Now wait a minute, who is that person right there that's opened up the drawing program? But it will hide instead of deleting, so we can always have it respawn without having to configure anything. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we are going to rename player related to common gameplay. So I'll put like common gameplay stuff like our player. I'll have like these big categories. Fall, like be all caps, stuff like that. I'll put all these player related ones inside. So we're gonna do so if right now we're gonna do player, but I'm gonna do it this differently later. If you are, since this player collision is just telling the game how the player will interact with the world. For the animations, I'm gonna be setting custom collisions masks later. Probably not this stream, but like more of a fine-tuning stream. I'll be setting custom player collision masks so it matches Sonic Retro, which should be up. Sonic Physics Guide. Okay. I'm gonna close these custom sprites since we won't be using them. But if we go to Sonic, for example, you see how we got like how the game sees it collision-wise. And then you got like his hurt boxes / hitboxes here. So later, I'm gonna replace like the ring, so instead of it being the player collision, it'll be like the actual player graphics interacting with it. But I'll do that later. But we do want to see something. Lift this. We go to game objects. And rings, it's got a 2 pixel gap on the left side and top. But we're going to set that to just a 2 pixel gap all around. Custom collision masks. 2, 2, 14, 14, 14, 14, and 2 and 2. There we go. So, we're on our gameplay layer. Do music. Either it is this video of like just a general lo-fi Sonic playlist that I randomly found. The current song is Chill Through It All from Sonic Frontiers. If you check the stream's description, I have a link to this video and link to the BRB audio as well. Just making sure, yes, I do have a link to both BRB and stream music. Speaking about BRB, I'm going to be right back here shortly. What's it called? I don't know why. I need to like figure out how to set up my stream a bit better. But I gotta mute the desktop audio. And oh, what's it called? So this desktop audio is not playing while I'm in a different scene. But I could probably set this up better later. Anyways, be right back. I'm just going to grab a drink. return. Yippee! So we're gonna carry off right where we were. Rings. Rings! There we go. Okay. We're gonna set up grid. Because we're no longer working with the HUD, we can set this back to 32 times 32. Which is basically 8x8 for our 4 times gameplay scale. So we're just gonna set a bunch of rings right here. How about actually just 2 rings right here. And up here, for testing purposes, I'll have a cluster of rings. Toby Fox music, I would play Deltarunt's music since I love that game. But I've just been putting off playing Chapter 3 and 4 for, I don't know why, I just have. But, next stream I can put on some Undertale music. I'm just, like, wanting to keep, like, the, stream song, like, be, like, the same video for each stream. Just so it's, like, not in the way, stuff like that. Okay. Time to go. Player collision. So collision lift. Ring. Ring. Animation by name. Normal. And is opacity, not opacity. And if it is visible. I'm gonna go to ring. Animation by name. Set to collected. The collected. Variable value. Rings. Add 1. Okay. It is grabbed once. Animation of ring collected. I'm gonna go. Oh, the music was restarting. Oh, was I buffering or something? I'm not sure. The music just stopped for me. But what's it called? Animation it's finished. We're going to hide the ring. Okay. So 2, and then we got 6 over here, so do we put it for every object? For each object, ring. I'm gonna put this. So we have got our 2 rings. There's a total of 8 rings in the scene. Okay. Now we are going to blast through those. I'm going to extend this outwards, and then make another super tall giga wall. 3, 4. I'm gonna go full speed and test the collision. like at faster speeds. Because the way I did rings in the past, if you went too fast, you wouldn't be able to collect them. But it seems like it's working now. Okay. We can leave this little setup here. Probably gonna add like a semi-solid platform right here. Rings in time. Okay. We're gonna close these. Now we're gonna go variable value rings is equal to 0. This will animation speed scale set to 1, but if it is greater than, we'll just have the speed less than or equal to. But if we are greater than animation speed scale is set to 0, and then we're going to change our current frame to 0 as well. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing right there. Oh, it did it. It does it with all. Okay. So we're gonna go here, HUD graphics, by name, rings. There we go. So now when we get rings, rings stops flashing. Yeah, we'll spin dash about, do whatever. Now we got our rings, and we cannot die. We are now boxed in. Sonic can no longer escape. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing with time. Change gameplay value rings to gameplay value minutes. If it is less than, no, if it's greater than or equal to 9, flash, time minutes. If it is less than 9, it's fine. There we go. Go. I'm gonna organize these into a group. What's it called? HUD flashing. There we go. Oh, yes, it only flashes after 9 minutes. And then you die from a time over at 10 minutes, but the timer displays 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Okay. So now we got our HUD done. For now. We don't have to worry about it for a while. The ring. I'm gonna change this to _normal. Because we're gonna have dropped rings as its own object. I don't know what my cat is doing. And she just knocked down a figurine I had off of my shelf. In stream 1, I was talking about the jump roll lock. I might later down the line make that an actual option. But for now, I'm not doing it because it was just an inconvenience to most people. There's a player. Event group. I'm gonna make this objects. And we're gonna put rings. What's it called? When I get the dropped rings, I'm not gonna do them this stream, so that is a pain in the butt to make. But, and I don't fully know how to do it myself. But, what's it called? When we do get dropped rings, we're still gonna do damage in this stream. But when we get dropped rings, we'll have, it here too. Because this shares the same thing, but after a certain amount of time, the rings despawn. Okay. What I want to do is have is balanced, not is balanced, is damaged. We're gonna set this to a boolean. Sorry, I just took my cat off the shelf again. But we're gonna have is damage and is dead. There we go. So now we got both variables for when we do end up, when we do get damage and die. Probably gonna have like a spike here. Speaking about spikes, we need to add them. It is in our sprite document. And side spikes and top spikes are its own thing. I'm gonna grab our spikes here. My cat loves knocking things down off of my stuff. But that's what cats do. And she's just a little baby. Well, a size of a baby. She's like a year and a half old. But she has dwarfism. So she's still super tiny. But, okay. We're gonna go in multiples of 8. So we're just gonna have... there. We're just gonna grab this palette. And then... this is our spike 1. Sprite, color mode, indexed. File save as, and then we're going to save this as a spike underscore 1. Save this as a PNG. Edit. Now we're not going to do that yet. Same thing, but with our light spikes. Now, 32, height of 48. That's in the center, where we like it. Move this. Current song's Oil Ocean. Right, color mode, indexed. File save as spike underscore 2 PNG files. sprite, import images, spikes, vertical, and then horizontal. Now we're gonna go Sonic Retro, find the spikes. There's also single spikes as well that I need to take an account for. I have this open here. They're not made here, but there's also just single spikes. Vertical, group. I'll just have group at the front. Group, vertical. And then horizontal. Collision masks. Custom one, don't share the same animation. And then move these about. Out a bit. Ash is playing the silly content warning. We could just delete points. Put to 44. There we go. And we got our vertical and... Oh, I'm sorry, I did not... We'll see you later, Ash, and... Sorry this is not giving you enough dopamine. And that you're gonna go play Brawl Stars. This is just me streaming my process. I hope you have fun. I hope you two both have fun doing what you're doing. And I hope, I'll see you guys later. Okay. So we want to add new variables. Is moving bike. We're going to set that to Boolean. And then original position X. And then we're going to do the same thing here for Y. I accidentally did that twice. Okay. We're going to add our spikes to ground collision, since they are part of the ground collision. Go here, edit options, scaling factor to 4. We're just going to put spikes on this wall. I could be a butthead when doing this and recreate the Sonic 1 spike bug, but I probably want to avoid doing that. Okay. So, if player collision, collapse that, is standing on a given platform, spikes, trigger once, okay. Trigger once and player variable is damaged, false, We're just going to set that to true. Variable value is damaged. Set to true. And then we're gonna have a sound play. And here we can also have a sound play as well. Okay. We're gonna go here. Player collision. And then we're gonna grab a variable value. Damage is true. I add death here. For a simple dying, we're just gonna grab the variable value of our ring count. If it is equal to 0, you will die. If it is greater than 0, you live. I'm just gonna set this less than or equal to, just in case anything bad happens. It's dead. Now set this to is dead. False as well. Damage is true. I'm gonna trigger once. How are we going to do this? Okay, we're gonna go to input. Not grounded. Damage is false. No, I'm gonna do input lock. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go here. Lock input. I'm gonna set this to structure. And we're gonna have left right. I'm gonna set true false, so booming. Set input left right true. We go back to actual input and do locked input left right, set that to false, and put that all here. Okay. And jump. Okay, we should be fine how we are right now. I'm gonna hide objects. And if player animations horizontally flipped, I'm gonna invert that. Ooh, nice beat. Angel Island zone. We're gonna go here. We're gonna find damage. Damage. I gotta find it. Getting hit. Hurt force Y -4. Desmos. Scientific calculator. X equals 1. Actually, no, it's B. S. B. S. X is exponent. We're going to set this to our equal values. And then we do B times S times 6B to the power of X, or exponent. I'm gonna get that. Okay. I'm gonna go here, see what they do for our speeds. Jump. Speed is 1, and then our jump. Okay, everything's speed related on the X or Y axis is to a power of 1. Or Y force. We'll just set that to 4. 4. Trigger once. Trigger once. Player collision. We're gonna set position to -4 for our gameplay scale. Actually, no, we'll just do 1 times gameplay scale. And then player collision, vertical speed set to negative this. And for left right it is 2. Player animation, not animation. Go to horizontal speed, set to negative with this. If horizontally flip, it will be set to positive. Also want to set our player animation hurt by name. Set to hurt. Look at there. Talk to those spikes. We need to set these. There we go. Instead of add. Okay. Oh. I actually need to put the negative since we set it to. My bad. Now we are unable to move, which that is what we want. So, trigger once. I'm trying to put this in its own trigger once. Trigger once, player collision. I had to sneeze real quick, I'm sorry. Chat. What is on floor? Set to true. Set this to false. Okay. Now, we lose that. Trigger once. It's grounded. There we go. Huh. Through. Trigger once. Okay, but if you get grounded, you're are no longer locked. Let's try this. And now we can move it. And now we can no longer be damaged. We're gonna set this to a trigger once now. Horizontal speed 0. I think you stop on a dime once you get hit. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Stop on. Do you know, I'm pretty sure you don't, but do you stop on a dime after getting hit and landing? I'm pretty sure you don't. Actually, wait, I got the Sonic Physics guide right here. Start state. Air drag is not applied. Okay. It doesn't say anything about stopping once you land. So, we're going to set a timer. Start or reset an object timer. Player collision. We want damage. Frames. Okay. I'm gonna have to put flashing for this. We gotta go find flashing. I do not have flashing as an extension. Oh yeah, but I forgot you can grab this. F period. Getting hurt. Does not react to controller input. Gravity issues from normal value to landed. When they do land their X speed, it's set to 0. Vulnerable. So they stay invulnerable. Sonic stays invulnerable for 2 seconds. Got it.
Okay, let's move it.
4 frames. 4 of 60. So 60 frames in a second. I'm gonna just open up another calculator. Okay. 60 frames. Divide that by our 4. We're... right now. I'll just set it to whatever I feel like right now. And I'll be 0.09. Once again, I'll do the math later. We'll probably just have a stream of just going and tweaking, making sure everything's alright. Start reset. Player animations. Flash. For 2 seconds. Actually, we'll just set it to 0. Even though it's just supposed to be for 2 seconds, it's fine. But what we're gonna do, we're in there. Timer helps if we have our player collision. Timer. Value of object timer. Damage frames is greater than or equal to 2. We're gonna stop flashing. Stop flashing. And set damage to false. Grab the rings again. Huh. We are now locked permanently. Okay, that's not good. Okay. I want to see what's causing it. Spin dash over there. Able to walk normally. So if we hit it again, we're unable. This is because I tried moving like once I got out of damage. Okay. No, it is not. Direction. This damage to pulse as well. Now, shouldn't be able to go left to right. No, but if we set it to is damage true, it's just the entirety of our damage. So we just want to set it to player animation, animation by name, hurt, and we do an invert this. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. I'm gonna try to do that. Okay, so our conditions of being damaged do not reapply. Okay, damage is true. Do that. Try breaking this free. I don't know why, but sometimes when I break something free, it, like, from the hierarchy, it does perform better. Stop flashing. Okay, we're still bouncing. But hey, we got the spike bug! Okay. So, trigger once. Is it because it's the timer's fault? We can undo this. You can bring that all back in. It is currently the timer's fault. Because it never reset. Since when the timer is false, it sets damage, when the timer is greater than 2 seconds, it always sets damage to false. So, we want to disable, well, delete the timer when this happens. We're not deleting the object, we're deleting the timer. Now, wait a second. Oh, it's because that. Oh, here we go. Get hurt. And on the spikes. Okay. Damage is false. Okay, we're gonna remove the trigger once. So that was allowing us to stay on the spikes. We're gonna damage, be invincible for 2 seconds. And, okay. Interesting. Let's just remove the, like, check for being damaged. So we get hurt. Okay. This is an interesting bug. Okay. It's because it never goes out of damaged, and this only triggers once while damaged. What if we put that to the top? And go here, jump, get hurt. That just... Interesting. Timer back there. This only triggers once. It's supposed to only trigger once. We need a debug variable. So we go to debug. Create a general text object. It doesn't matter. Text, whatever, size 16, I guess. Blur, no blur. Oh, that's only for the shadow. Okay. We're just gonna smack this into the scene. Doesn't matter where we put it as long as it's just not in the way of anything else. Text. Change text. I'm just gonna make this new text. Variable. Player collision is damaged. I put that on the base layer. Oopsies. We need to put that on the debug layer. And we cannot see it. Okay. Bright yellow. No, let's do a bright neon green. Don't hurt the eyes, but it's not going to be there for that long. Variable is equal to false. Stays true. Once you stop flashing, it continues to be true until... Huh. Bring that back out. Here. Jump on the spikes, bounce off. You're damaged. Now goes to false when we stop. We're damaged. And it stays true because we're on the spikes. That is damage. False. I have it so. This is what launches you up and does this stuff. No, not the false. Would it instantly... I don't know. Stays true. Okay. Okay, so we might change this up a bit. Player animation. It's flashing. If it is not flashing. Grounded, that is true. Let's set damage false. Damage frames. Okay, let's try this. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. Let's start start flashing. But if we go here and just... Okay, now we finally fixed that bug. So now we can forever get hurt. Which is exactly what we want to do. So now, invincibility frames are a thing. And it does set the speed to 0 once you get grounded after flashing. So we're just gonna set that to here, set it to 0. Zoom about. What do we do? And we need to add the like the pushing and balancing stuff to the spikes as well. Oop. No, this damage seems to work with these spikes. But yeah. We got damaging done. We're gonna later reconfigure the spikes here. But anyways, that's where I'm gonna wrap up the stream for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I know a lot more people joined the stream today instead of the previous streams, and hopefully that gave you guys some fun. But overall, today what we did, well, thank you for calling it epic. But today what we did, we added our HUD, talked about SSDs and device storage, talked about apartments, talked about smoothing for like digital art, and we added rings and the ability to be damaged. I say today was successful in this time frame. Of course, later, at a later date, we gotta go clean this all up, but I'm glad how it turned out. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching the stream today, or enjoy watching the video, well, the video of this stream. You get the idea. This is Anonini, signing off.